and welcome to another glorious video, another episode of Tech Talk with Suits, and I am your glorious host, Suits, in case you didn't already know that. So today's episode, we are actually going to be talking about the top 10 hackers. Let's see what happens. So, I did kind of lie. This is not going to be the top 10 hackers because that video is going to be too long. We're actually going to break it up into two parts. This is going to be technically the bottom 5 hackers. So this is going to be 10 through 6, and then the next episode is going to be 5 through 1. Saving the first, best for last. So let's get started. All right, so number 10 would be Julian Assange. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Not exactly sure, but whatever. So Julian Assange, you might have heard of him. If you have, it's because you are older than 25, and he was big in the news, especially with something called WikiLeaks. Now, WikiLeaks was supposed to be where he published millions of documents that were leaked, obviously. They weren't something that the public was supposed to see, but that's the spot where he chose to publish them. So a bunch of whistleblowers, people like that, sent in the information, he published it. Now, even before then, that was more recent. He started off when he was 16 years old. 16! What was happening? He was actually caught hacking the main terminal of Nortel, which was a big Canadian multinational corporation, but they were a phone company. Nortel, which isn't so much really known nowadays, but it was back then. He was caught hacking that. After a while, he decided to kind of go white hat for a bit, and he was assisting police in prosecuting people who were creating and distributing child porn. So very, very worthy cause for him to knock that out because that's terrible. But he did end up helping the police a lot with that. However, he did rack up in all of his years about 31 counts of cybercrime. 31. That's a lot of cybercrime. All right, another thing that he did, he ended up hacking some pretty major places. A couple places such as NASA and the Pentagon. Two fairly large government agencies, right? So in this one, he hacked those. He did get in trouble for them. But later on, he then created WikiLeaks. Now, this is where things went even worse for him because not only did he create WikiLeaks, which is supposed to be a website dedicated to documents that the public's not supposed to see. So he's already on thin ice with that. But then he decided to help out. At the time, the name was, I don't remember which way it went. It was either Chelsey Manning or Bradley Manning. The person switched from one to the other. So forgive me. I don't remember which one it ends up being. But Chelsey/Bradley Manning was in the military. They were trying to release, and they were releasing tons of military documents that weren't supposed to be public. And in fact, at one point, they even communicated with Julian and said, hey, I need help cracking this password so that I can get admin access to this network and give you even more documents that you shouldn't be seeing because I want to expose whatever the military is doing and I don't think these things are right to be kept secret. And he said, sure, go ahead and send me the password hash, which is basically like almost kind of an encrypted version of a password, if you will. They scramble things around. And he said, send it to me. I'll go ahead and see if I can crack it and we'll get you admin access. And the military even said, yeah, with admin access, they could have had access to tons of information, obviously, because they're an admin. That didn't end up happening. However, he did end up getting extradited and he's being charged with it. So, fun times. So, number 9. This one's actually my second favorite one, even though it's number 9. This is my second favorite because of the anonymity behind it and the mystery. And not only that, what was going on with this. So, number 9 is Astra. Yes, Astra. So, before you ask, well, what about the last name? Who was it? We don't have a last name. We don't even technically have a first name. Why don't we have either of those? Because the government has never come out and told us who it actually was. Weird, right? Even if you Google it now and ask who Astra was, that's all you get. Trust me, I tried. And my Google foo's pretty good. So, Astra. In 2008, when this person was caught and being taken in, all that was released is that they were a 58-year-old mathematician, male mathematician. That's all we know. But even that's pretty cool to me. So what did Astra do? Well, he was kind of what you might nowadays call a lurker. text called an APT, an Advanced Persistent Threat. What he did was he hacked into an aviation company, a French aviation company called Dassault Group. Now, Dassault Group, before you say, well, it's just an aviation company, except he was in their system for 5 years. Advanced persistent threats. Get into a system, they cover their tracks, and they just chill. They don't just chill, they also take in all the information that they can. They just don't try to make it obvious that they are there because they want to stay for as long as possible and soak up everything that they possibly can. What was he soaking up? Nothing much, just cutting edge weapon technology, which he sold to about 250 individuals as far as they can tell around the world. How much was this worth? According to estimates, he cost them about $350 million in damages with what he sold and with what he did. Now for number 8. Number 8 is Jonathan James, aka Comrade. With a 0, not an O, because hackers love using leet. Whatever. So, Jonathan James, in this case, he was young. He was 15 years old when he started hacking. Now for this one, he hacked into numerous public websites or numerous public networks, commercial networks, as well as NASA and the Department of Defense. From the Department of Defense, they claim that he got about 3,000 people's usernames and passwords, which is also a huge issue because the more information that you have, the more that you can stay in the system. So with this one, he was actually caught. He was sentenced to house arrest, which he broke because hackers love to break stuff. So he started hacking again and they actually got put in jail. So he was charged for a while. This one, however, does have a sad ending. Around that same time as when TJ Maxx got hit, Jonathan James, aka Comrade, was being blamed for some of it. The authorities kept saying, oh, we think you had to do with it. And he kept saying, no, I didn't. Problem with that was that in the end, he thought that he was going to be convicted of something he claimed he didn't do. And in the end, he decided that the only way that he could get out of that, at least by his admission, was to take his own life. And he actually left a note in the end. I have no faith in the justice system. Perhaps my actions today and this letter will send a stronger message to the public. Either way, I have lost control over the situation. And this is my only way to regain control. All right, now for number 7. For number 7, we have Kevin Poulsen, aka Dark Dante. All right, so in 1983, when Kevin Poulsen was only 17 years old, am I the only one starting to see a theme with hackers starting like in their late teen years? Just saying. So in 1983, he actually hacked ARPANET, Advanced Research Projects and Network, I think. It's basically the government's network, which is a big deal. Even though the government caught him fairly quickly for this one, they decided, you know what, we're not going to prosecute him. We're just going to let him go because he's a minor. And we're going to give him a warning, a very stern warning, which he very quickly dismissed because he kept hacking and was caught again, of course. So in 88, he decided to do once again hacking, and he found files on the deposed president of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos. Hope I got that right. I'm terrible with names. One of my favorite things that he did, he decided later on to hack into a radio station. This is what he put on his website. He hacked a radio station to become the 102nd caller in order to win 20 grand, a vacation, and a brand new Porsche. That makes me laugh because that's just hilarious. He also then got with some other computer savvy people and hackers and created SecureDrop, an open source program that allows whistleblowers to contact media and send files back and forth. That way they can much more easily communicate and be anonymous still, which is what a lot of whistleblowers want. All right, number 6, and the last one for this particular video is Michael Chelsey, aka Mafia boy, because he can make you an offer you can't refuse. That was a terrible accent, terrible impression. Deal with it. So, what did Mafia Boy do? Well, Michael Chelsey ended up taking control of a university's computers, and he used all of them, all the combined power of those computers, to create a DDoS attack against Yahoo. DDoS is distributed denial of service. Basically, he took all the computing power from all the computers in the university and sent a huge rush of requests to the Yahoo driver at the time, which was the biggest search engine, and it couldn't take it. So it actually crashed Yahoo for a while, which is a big deal. The entire point of a denial of service, or distributed denial of service, DDoS, is to try to take up all the resources and to crash the websites, call centers, whatever you're doing. In this case, he crashed Yahoo with it. He also crashed many other really big companies such as CNN, eBay, Amazon, and Dell. Now, the biggest reason why Michael Chelsey is number 6 instead of like number 7 or 8 or whatever is because he got such large corporations down on their knees and crashed them. That told everybody, guys, nobody is safe. If a billion-dollar company can be brought down to its knees, that's a problem. And that is the bottom 10 most infamous hackers. So, stay tuned for the next episode where we give the top 5 hackers. And who do you think is going to be number 1? Who in your mind should take that spot? This is Suits, signing out.